Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel. Welcome to another Savory Sunday where we do what? Break down the Most High's commandments and give our brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel a better understanding of the commandments than they had yesterday. With hopes in regards to uplifting and rebuilding and reshaping our nation of people. And I'm your brother Ananias for the Awakening of Israel, AOY. And before we get started, got to give all honor, glory, praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being His Son, who the world calls Christ. And through His strength, sacrifice, and example, we are able to be here today to be able to get another edifying lesson. I want to give a special shout out to you brothers and sisters who are in this truth, who continue to push hard, enduring for the elect's sake day in and day out, making your body a living sacrifice, but doing what's necessary and what's required in order to reach the mark. Waking up your brothers and sisters, being that light you were created to be, being an example. So a special shout out to you, and to you brothers and sisters who are new to this truth. Continue to learn, continue to press forward. Don't give up, don't stop. Even though the journey might get a little tough, keep pushing. It's a reward at the end. Understand that. So getting into what we're talking about, as always, we doing Savory Sundays. Lord willing, every Sunday, we strive to come give our brothers and sisters breakdowns of the commandments so that they know the benefits of keeping them and the consequences of not keeping them. As we all know, coming and being in this truth, we know that by keeping the commandments, we would have been on top. We would be in rulership. We would be sitting on high right now. But we obviously know that we're not on top. We're on the bottom of society, so obviously we broke the commandments. But we aim to teach our brothers to keep the commandments, coming back into this truth and into this real understanding as to what's going on. So to get started, let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. Because the whole purpose behind a Savory Sunday is to be a sweet smelling savor to the Most High. We're going to start off with 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. Now thanks be unto Yahweh, which always causes us to triumph in Yahweh Shai, and maketh manifest the savor of his knowledge by us in every place. So he make us to triumph in everything that we do by his knowledge, wisdom, and discernment. Verse 15, for we are unto Yahweh a sweet savor of Yahweh Shai, in them that are saved and them that perish. So by us keeping these commandments, having the faith in Yahweh Shai, we become a sweet smelling savor unto the Most High. Keeping the commandments. That's our whole purpose. So from there, let's go to the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 42, verse 24. And it reads, all things are double, one against another, and he have made nothing imperfect. All things are double, one against another. So last week, we did our class on adultery, and it was called the age-old killer. And it was going into how man and woman commit adultery against each other in relationship. This week, this is adultery part 2, stop playing the harlot, Israel. This is going into the double meaning of adultery, how we as a nation of people have committed adultery against the Most High. So let's jump right into it. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 18. One of the big 10 commandments that we are supposed to be following as a nation of people. And it reads, neither shalt thou commit adultery. So that's one of the commandments. We're not supposed to commit adultery. And last week we realized that committing adultery was basically stepping out of a married relationship to someone else's spouse or to someone outside of your relationship. That would be committing adultery, So from there, let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 11. The book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 11. And it reads, discretion shall preserve thee. Another word for discretion is wisdom, being cautious. Discretion shall preserve thee. Understanding shall keep thee. Shall keep thee. Understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and discernment will keep thee. It will preserve thee. Keep you upright. It'll keep you living longer. Verse 12, it says, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forward things, who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in frowardness, of the wicked. So discretion will preserve you from this. I'm going to keep reading verse 15. Whose ways are crooked and they forward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words. Now, who is this strange woman? This strange woman today in our time would be Babylon the Great, America or United States, snakes as you know it, and the other nations, because we as a nation of people have forgotten who we are. And even when we knew who we were so anxious for some odd reason to want to follow behind the other nations. Even though they were beneath us, thus saith the Lord, somehow and for some forsaken as reason, we wanted to chase behind them. But let's go to Proverbs 6 and verse 23. The book of Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23, and it reads, For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and the reproof of instructions are the way of life. So the commandment is a lamp, and a law is the light. So the commandment, the law of the Lord is supposed to be a light for us, to give us instruction on which way to walk, which direction to walk, so that we can live life. Verse 24 says, to keep thee from the evil woman. Who is that woman we keep talking about? Babylon the Great, that great whore that sits upon many waters. We're talking about Babylon. It says to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. It says in verse 25, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. So these are some pretty deep precepts right here. So it's saying we're supposed to keep the commandments so that we are not taken by the flattery or the lust or the batting of the eyelids from this whorish woman as a nation of people. That's why the Lord continues to tell us to forsake the ways of this world, to come out of Babylon, to separate yourself, because we as a nation of people have done the complete opposite. We grown toward the flattery of the tongue of this strange woman, of this nation. We believe everything that they speak, the other nations, mainly Esau. Whatever they put on the TV screen, whatever is pumped through the music, whatever's on the movie screen, what's in the magazines, we eating it up. We loving it. We attracted to the flattery of the tongue. Everything that they say, they put on Google, we believe it. What they write in the encyclopedias, we believe it. What they put in the history books, we believe it. It says lust not after her beauty. All the nations around the world trying their best to get over here to Babylon the Great so they can freak off, so they can commit all manner of lewd acts, all manner of madness and folly, lusting after her beauty, thinking that you can come over here and live that American dream with the big house with the picket white fence, with the damn nasty collie dog, Lassie running around in the backyard. When everybody steps out in the morning to go get their newspaper with their robes on. Hi, Tom. Good morning, Jim. Everybody wants that lifestyle because it's being portrayed to us through the media. But the Lord is saying, don't lust after that. Neither let her take thee with her eyelids. Like I said before, all these other nations, including Israel, want to come here and just chase money, chase dreams of wickedness, to do all manner of folly. They got men traveling from China, from Africa, coming over here so they can lay down with another man. That's wicked as hell, because they know in their own countries they can't do that. But we, as a nation of people, were brought here as captives, as slaves, rooted in this wickedness, grew up in this wickedness, and we fight for this wickedness. The Lord is saying, turn away from that. It says in verse 26, Proverbs 6 and 26, for by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread. We were royalty. But from chasing these other nations, we done been brought down to the level of just a piece of bread. We don't have anything. We don't have a whole loaf. We don't have the packaging that we came in anymore. We've been left desolate here, chasing after other lovers. They said, and the adulterers will hunt for the precious life. They constantly trying to hunt us down, keep us broken, keep us distraught as a nation of people. Why? Because we are not following the Most High. As a nation, we chasing behind every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Everything that they put on TV, that's what we want to be. Everything that they say is new and bring out in a commercial, we want. We don't want to do any work. We just won't, you know. But from there, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 2. Try to get it over with. I got a couple precepts. Try to make it quick as I can. Once again, this class is called Adultery. Stop playing the harlot Israel. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 2, and it reads, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousals, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of increase. All that devour him shall offend, even shall come upon them, saith the Lord. So the Lord is telling us right there, he remembers us in the beginning. Just like a relationship before it sours. You know what I'm saying? When it's sour, goes south, you start looking back on the good times. The Lord telling you, right, I remember when you was young. I remember back in the day when we first started kicking, you know. I remember when you went after me, when you tried hard to do what I told you to do. I remember these things, but what happened? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 5. Let's see what else the Lord said. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 5, and it reads, it says, For thy maker is thine husband, the Lord of thy host is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth shall he be called. So he letting us know, I'm your husband. You married to me. Understand, I made you. I remember you when you was young, when you didn't have nothing, when you was calling on me, when you was in captivity. I remember you. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 7. No, hold on, I ain't read verse 6. It says, For the Lord have called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of you, when thou was refused, saith thy God. So he's saying he our husband and we his wife. He remember when it first started off. He remember how he used to do for us day in and day out. But what happened? We forgot about everything. Even though the Lord loved us. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 7. He said, The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your father, have the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage for the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So the Lord, like, I loved you. And this is the way you do me. I remember when I used to take care of you. I did everything for you. You know, when you was out there lost, didn't know which way to go, I took care of you. That's what the Lord is saying. I'm your husband. Remember that. I loved you. It ain't nothing that you did. He said, I loved you. But from there, let's go to Deuteronomy 2 and 7. Deuteronomy 2 and 7. And it reads, For the Lord thy God hath blessed thee in all the works of thy hand. He knoweth thy walking through his great wilderness. These 40 years the Lord thy God hath been with thee. Thou hast lacked nothing. Since we were with the Most High, since he came to save us, deliver us, we didn't lack for anything. On the way to the promised land, we didn't lack for anything. For the few years that we were actually there, we didn't lack for anything. But for some odd reason, we still want to chase behind the wickedness. We want to chase behind the nation of people that were under us. who were servant to us, paying tributary to us. We want to be like them for some odd reason. Blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Revelation 2 and 4 right quick. I'm trying to piece it together like a little a letter that the Lord was writing to his people after a bad breakup, you know. Revelation chapter 2, verse 4. It says, nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. After all he did for us, he did more for us than any other nation on this planet. Yet and still, we left our first love, thinking that the grass was green on the other side. You know, this is where we at as a nation of people. Don't know what the hell going on. And if you can't see that, it's what's being promoted in this society. Something wrong with you. That is the exact attitude that we as a nation of people have today. We don't want to be stable. We don't want to be married. You know, the Lord protected us. He saved her. What they make the song? What the song say? Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. That's real talk right there. We as a nation of people really don't want to be saved. It's a small remnant, but as a nation, we don't want to be saved. That's crazy, but I'm going to go to the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 2. Let's see what the Lord said. Micah, chapter 6, verse 2. And it reads, hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and ye strong foundations of the earth. For the Lord have a controversy with his people, and he will plead with Israel. Verse 3, O my people. He didn't say all people. He said my people, the nation of Israel. He said, what have I done unto thee? And wherein have I wearied thee? Testify against me. He want to know what the hell I do to make you go out and be with somebody else, trying to go find love somewhere else, trying to find love in all the wrong place. What the hell did I do? That's what the Lord want to know. Did I not give you everything? Everything that we seek here in Babylon is everything that the Lord actually gave us. We want money, we want fame, we want riches, we want servants and handmaids. We had everything that we seek here in Babylon. Yet and still, we chasing behind the servants, chasing behind the wickedness, chasing behind the same one that the Lord was actually whooping their ass, for lack of a better word. We want to go chase behind them. Think about that. The Lord gave us everything, our own land. What are we searching for here in Babylon? We want our own land. We trying to come up with different plots and schemes to find out how to get our own land. The Lord already gave it to us. We didn't want it. We want family time. The Lord already ordained it. He said, come together at least once a week on the Sabbath. Oh, by the way, I give you a new moon to come together with. Oh, that's not enough. I'll give you some feast days to go along with it. He gave us all these things that we so desire here in Babylon. Had the other nations bringing us money, bringing the taxes to us. We had the money. We had the fame. Everything that we wanted, we rejected. So we stripped it from us. Now we clawing and scraping, trying to get it back, but we trying to get it back in wickedness. The Lord saying, testify against me. What have I done to you? Besides be a great father, a great husband. I gave you everything. I protected you. I fought for you. Gave you all the glitz and glamour that you would so desire in this world. But you wanted else. You wanted everything else. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 1. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 1. And it reads, they say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not the land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord. You see that? The Lord said, you've been out there fooling around. You really ain't supposed to be able to come back to me, but because of the love that he has for us, he said, you out there playing the harlot, but return to me again. Return to me again, letting you know we out there playing the whole, we out there committing adultery against the Most High, as a nation. Let me get verse 6. It said, the Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel have done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there have played the harlot. Damn. Lord said we done been on every high mountain and under every tree, sleeping with everything. Anything moving, anything walking, we sleeping with it. We laying down with it. Verse 7, and I said, after she have done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister, Judah, saw it, and I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister, Judah, feared not, but went and played the harlot also. So we did just like the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. It was both kingdoms, played the harlot. Kingdom was split after the sins of Solomon, but we went the hell off. Both kingdoms started chasing after these other nations, went serving other guys. So the Lord like, hey, return back to me. We like, nah, that's all right. I got something better going on. Like he did something wrong to us. That's kind of like what you see in this world. You know, what they say, the good guy finished last or whatever. You got a guy that was willing to do everything for you, but you want the bad guy. You want the wickedness. You'll leave a good guy who is willing to do everything for you. Listen to your problems, give you that shoulder to cry on. Make sure you was taken care of. Do everything for you. Give you the world. Just so you don't get it twisted. The Most High gave us this planet. The world was made for us, according to 2nd Ezra 6:54 on down. This world, this earth that we walking around on was made for us. He gave us the world. So just like the good guy in the world, he tried to give you the world. You don't want it. It's crazy how that comes together. Most High fought for us, take care of us, make sure we upright, got everything that we need. We say the hell with that. I want the bad guy. Ain't that the narrative today? They don't want the one that's going to sit there and take care of you. They want the one that ain't going to do no work. They're going to make you work. Ain't that what Esau do? We want to live like Esau, and Esau don't want to do no work. He going to sit back and make you do the work. Is that not what's going on in today's society? Ain't our brothers sitting back on the couch, cracking their toes, popping Cheetos, letting the women go to work for them? Is that not what's going on? Same principle. They want the bad guy. They say that's good. If he smacking me around like Esau do in these other nations, he loved me. Everything is biblical, my people. Let me keep reading though. Verse 8. And I saw, verse 9. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 9. And it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. So the Lord said, and it came to pass through the lightness of her whoredom, meaning the stupidity of her whoredom. Not knowing that she got enemies, so you still want to be like the enemy. We as a nation of people want to be like the enemy. The lightness of our whoredom, she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. What are those stocks? Let's go to Jeremiah 10 and 38 right quick. Jeremiah 10 and verse 8, excuse me. Jeremiah 10 and verse 8. It says, but they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities. So these different stocks, these different stones, they are doctrines of vanity. Just like you see on the screen, this is one of the doctrines that they push. I love everyone and everyone loves me. God loves everybody. Yahweh loves everybody. False. You know, the commandments are done away with. False. We don't have to keep the commandments. False. We can keep Christmas. We don't have to celebrate that. That's done away with. False. We can serve white Jesus, Caesar Borgia. False. All we got to do is get some condoms. False. Go out there into the world and find yourself. False. I'm going to read that again. Jeremiah 10 and verse 8. But they are altogether brutish and foolish. That's what it was talking about back in Jeremiah 3 and 9. It was saying that our whoredom was light, the lightness of our whoredom. Brutish and foolish, the stock is a doctrine of vanities. The things that we learn today, vanity. We thinking that we going to get these damn degrees that's going to make our lives better. Okay, say you get this degree and you make $100,000. What is that doing for your nation of people? Are you willing to put that down to go save your nation of people? Hell no. Nah. So how is it really benefiting? You going after foolish, vain things. That's what we're trying to wake our people up to understand these days. But let's go to the book of Hosea. Hosea chapter 2, verse 4. The book of Hosea chapter 2, verse 4. And it reads, and I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. For their mother have played the harlot. She that conceived them have done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, my oil and my drink. You see that? That's how we think today. Our people don't want to come back to serving the Lord. They were like, I'm good. Esau giving me them EBTs, them SNAP benefits. He giving me a place to live. He paying my bills. I ain't got time to listen to nothing the Lord got to say. I don't know how many times we've been out teaching on the highways and byways. Hey, sister, you got time? No, I ain't got time. What? You ain't got 2 seconds, 2 minutes for the Lord? Hey, brother, you got time to hear the word of the Lord? No, I ain't got time. Today my birthday. Hold on, brother. Who woke you up this morning? That's why we ain't supposed to be celebrating birthdays. The man, the Most High woke that brother up and he's talking about he ain't got time for the Lord. It's his birthday. Nigga, who was you? We got to get our stuff together, Israel. But I'm going to keep reading. Verse 6, Hosea 2 and 6. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns and make a wall that she shall not find her path. The Lord said, I'm going to hedge up thy path. I'm going to put thorns in your way where you can't find your way to righteousness. You can't, I ain't going to say to righteousness, but when you can't find your way to get to the top as a nation of people. That's why Esau came up with that Willie Lynch letter saying, I'm going to create division in every level of labor. That's why we button heads at every corner that we turn while striving to get ahead in this wicked kingdom. We can't get ahead because we button heads. The Lord put a hedge up to block that. Verse 7, he said, and she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. After we getting our butts kicked, after we realize that these cheap lovers, the bad boy and the bad girl, whatever, it don't pan out. Now we trying to go back. We picking up the phone, calling the good guy or the good wife back. Hey, I just want to apologize. You know, I know it was wrong. I know I did this. I know it. Can you forgive me? Now we want to go back to where it was good. When we find out that all that wickedness, all that cheap thrill wasn't about nothing. So I will go and return to my first husband. But then was it better with me than now? For she did not know that I gave her corn and wine and oil and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. The Lord said she didn't realize, or they as a nation, the nation of Israel didn't realize I gave them everything. I gave the other nations everything. But everything I gave to them, they want to give it to devils. They want to sacrifice it to devils. Give it to Baal. Verse 9. Therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and I will recover my wool and my flax, given to cover her nakedness. The Lord said, I'm taking everything. You ain't got no respect for me. I'm taking everything. Verse 10. And now will I discover her lewdness in the sight of her lovers, and none shall deliver her out of my hands. You see that? The Lord called us a harlot, committing adultery, all manner of whoredom, chasing after these other nations. He said, for that wickedness, I'm going to expose you in front of your lovers, and ain't nobody going to be able to deliver you out of my hand. Verse 11, and I will cause also all her mirth to cease, meaning all her joy, all that rejoicing he going to snatch that away from us. Her feast days, her new moons, and her Sabbaths, and all her solemn feasts. You see that? The Lord said he's going to take all that away from us. That's why we was here serving these wicked holidays. Damn Santa Claus, Thanksgiving, July the 4th, damn New Year's, Valentine's Day, all manner of wickedness, birthdays, Labor Days, Memorial Days. We serving everything and everyone but who we are. We ain't serving each other. We know that when we go into the businesses. Going to our store is supposed to be our store. We don't even speak to each other. We go into the other nation restaurant where our people are working in there. They won't even speak to you. But when the other nations come in, hi, welcome. You can't even be greeted by your own people. That's the wickedness of our nation right now. Being downtrodden, playing the whore, playing the harlot. Let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 1, verse 2. And it reads, she weeping, book of Lamentations, chapter 1, verse 2. She weeping sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she have none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. They have always been our enemies. But now we starting to see it. Hey, look at it, man. No loyalty. When you go back and you read in the beginning, the other nations were questioning and saying, how is it that these people had the Most High so near to them? Yet and still they chasing behind us. They the best thing on the planet, best thing smoking, yet and still they want to be like us. How foolish, how simple. So they looking down on us now. Y'all stupid as hell, your whoredom is light. Come back to serving your own God. But since you want to serve and chase after us, we going to be your enemy. We going to be your taskmaster. We going to be your supervisors and managers. We going to be your boss, your God. Since you don't want to serve the one true creator, we going to be your God. And now we got the tears rolling down our cheeks. And all the people, our lovers, who we thought were our friends, dealt treacherously with us. Now they have become our enemies. You can't make this up, man. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 4, verse 4. The book of James, chapter 4, verse 4. The Lord warned us about this constantly. Say, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of Yahweh. So we trying to be like the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese, Japanese, East Indian, Arab. Hey, we are enemies to the Most High. He told us to be separate, to be holy. He chose us to be separate, to be holy, to be special. But we keep chasing after these other nations, man. You can't make this up. But let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 14. The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 14. And it reads, seek good and not evil, that ye may live. And so the Lord the God of hosts, shall be with you, as ye have spoken. Hate the evil, love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. And it may be that the Lord God of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. So we got to seek good and hate evil. Establish judgment. We got to come back to establishing judgment in our households, in our nation, meaning these laws, statutes, and commandments. We got to establish that in our lands so that the Lord will be among us. Let's go back to Hosea chapter 6, verse 1. This is going to be my last one. Book of Hosea chapter 6, verse 1. And it reads, Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn and he will heal. The Lord beat us up like this. After all, think about that, man. So if your husband, your wife, whatever the case may be, doing everything for you, and you turn around basically smack them or spit in their face, they're going to be ready to thrash your ass. Hosea 6 and 1, he said, Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn us, a new one, and he will heal us. He have smitten. He beat the hell out of him. And he will bind us up, meaning he going to pass them bruises up. Give you that stake over your eye to take down the swelling. Verse 2, it said, After 2 days will he revive us. In the 3rd day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Now, there's more meaning to that verse, but just for this particular class, I'm going to leave it right there. Verse 3, it says, Then shall we know, if we follow on to know the Lord, his going forth is prepared as the morning, as he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and the former rain unto the earth. So we got to come and return unto the Most High, so that we can be healed, so that we can be revived and risen back up. Right now, we're in the process of being revived, and we rising back up as a nation of people. You know, that's why you got brothers hitting the corners, the highways and byways all around the world right now, reviving our brothers and sisters, raising them up so that we can be healed. Then we'll be able to fight the battle again so we can go back home. But hopefully you brothers and sisters learn something about the reason why we're not supposed to be committing adultery. You know, we got to stop playing the harlot, Israel. The nation of Israel consists of the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We got to stop playing the harlot. And if you're watching this class, when you watch this class, make sure you share this content, because this message got to go out. We got to be putting in more work as time go on. We can't be slacking up. We got to be putting in more work. We got to get this message out. We got to come back to keeping these commandments. We got to come back to rebuilding our nation, closing up the breaches, making us strong again, giving us the understanding that we seek. You know, I'm your brother Ananias for AOY. This been another Savory Sunday. I appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. Hopefully you learned something and you can apply it to your life. So on that note, I say shalom to you.